I am Larissa. I'm a soul guide and I help people transform their lives from misery to happiness using your unique soul blueprint. So, what is a soul blueprint? A soul blueprint is basically your soul already knows how it wants to grow. And why is your soul even growing? Because that's what souls do. So, the whole point of, okay, so like the origin, right? Like we all come from God, we're all part of like the central sun, and at some point we decided we wanted to have experiences. So that is why your soul exists, because it split off from God, from the collective, and it said, you know what, I want to try this life thing. I want to try to have experiences. Because we learn more through experiences than through knowledge itself. Like, you actually need the practical application in order to embody intelligence, to embody experience, wisdom. There's a difference. You know how they say there's a difference between like knowledge and wisdom, and that's what we're aiming for. We are aiming for wisdom through our soul, through these experiences we choose to experience. Okay, so that is why we have a soul blueprint, because in this life, just like in any other life, we come to this life already knowing how we want to grow, what we want to experience. So let's say maybe one way your soul wants to grow in this life is by pushing through social constructs and still continuing to be magical, to be loving, to be open hearted, right? So you would choose these really hard experiences where you actually have to force yourself to open your heart. You have to force yourself to say, or to feel that you are safe and that you can explore your own psychic abilities. So the Arcturians are coming forward to share a message with us for some things that they want us to know about the year 2026. 2026 is a number 8 year, which is all about abundance. But when you think about abundance, I want you to think of like, the infinity symbol, like the 8, and that as you tap into abundance, it's because you are connected to God. And how are we connected to God? Through our souls. How are we connected to our soul? Our soul is in our heart space, okay? So it's like, imagine there's this like light beam that comes straight in from God, that's our soul, and it's hitting our heart, and it's what animates us, okay? It's what gives us personality, it's what, okay? Um So, in order to really be abundant, you have to tap into your heart and into your soul. So, the easiest way you can do that is just by being aware of your feelings. Your feelings are extremely important, they are so important, okay? And so, just being aware of how you feel when you're around certain people or certain places, or even when you're doing your habits. Like, there's some habits that we just do routinely, right? So really be aware of your feelings, okay? And that's going to be the easiest way to connect to your soul and to your heart, is by connecting to your feelings, all right? Just by feeling your feelings, you get to connect with your soul. And the more that you make choices aligned with your feelings this year, in the year 2026, is what will make you achieve abundance, okay? So remember, abundance comes from our connection to God. It's like that infinity symbol. It's like there's God on one side and us on one side, and there's no separation. Like, we are one. And when you connect to your heart and your feelings and your soul, that's when you get to connect to your abundance, because you're like, I am going to follow the things that feel good to me. I'm going to explore what feels good. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to open my heart. All right. So if you do all those things, it'll just lead you to abundance. And I know it could be like, yeah, but how do I get abundance right now? Okay, and just by that like frustration moment, you are actually separating yourself from abundance, okay? Abundance comes from peacefully sitting in your center and knowing that you are one with all. You are part of God. You are part of the universe, okay? And so the Arcturians want us to know that, number one, for 2026, it's going to be really important to connect to your heart and your soul and connect to God so that you can become the master creator you're here to be. Because just like we have a soul blueprint, we have things we need to achieve in this lifetime, okay? And in order to achieve these things in our life, you have to connect to your feelings, right? You have to connect to your hobbies, to whatever you are led to. You need to go explore that and stop holding back. 2026 is the year where you get to explore and have fun. And so this is the next part of the message, number 2. As you connect to your heart and your soul, you will automatically begin to magnetize your soul family to you. Okay. So once you are like, you know what, how do I feel about the people I'm around? How do I feel about the job that I have? How do I feel about the area that I live in? The more you do that and connect with your feelings, the more your heart like lights up and your soul lights up. And the more your soul family, soul mates, soul friends, soul lovers will be attracted to you, because you're all of a sudden you're connecting to your soul because you care about your own feelings, and you're feeding your own feelings by following things that feel good and cutting things that don't feel so good. And keeping in mind that we do live like in a very 3D world, right? So we live in a world where, okay, so now I know, this job doesn't feel that great for me. Okay, obviously you can't just leave your job, right? You're still gonna have to work and make money and pay your bills, right? So it's not about like, okay, now that this doesn't feel good, I'm just going to cut it out. It's about following what feels good. Okay. So you don't have to cut out the things that feel bad. You can start cutting out or cutting down on like, this person doesn't really feel good, but I love them, but I don't want to see them so often, maybe. Or this job doesn't feel good. So when I leave, I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to leave all my energies for this place in this place, right? And then when you leave, you start feeling, what does feel good. And to also keep in mind, this is like part B for number 2, to also keep in mind that things that you enjoy don't have to cost anything, and you don't have to go anywhere. Anything you are interested in, you can like explore that at home. So let's say you're interested in dancing, like there's lots of dance tutorials on YouTube. Let's say you're interested in origami, you can do that on YouTube. If you're interested in working out, you can do calisthenics at home. Like there's so many things that you can begin at home with absolutely no money. Okay. So I just wanted to say that if you're like, yeah, but I can't go and, do XYZ because I don't have money. Like, yeah, life is hard. Like I get it. I completely get it. But there are still things you can do in your home that'll make you feel good, that'll light up your heart, and will still like, like help you get to the next part. Okay. So that's number 2. And the third thing is, so again, this is a message from the Arcturians about 2026. So number 1, we're going to connect to our heart and our soul so we can connect to God, so we can connect to abundance, right? So how do you do that? Just tap into your feelings. Number 2, once you tap into your heart and your soul, you'll begin to attract your soulmates, soul friends, soul family, soul lovers, right? Because you care about your soul and you're, taking care of it, and you want to see where it'll take you next. And it will always take you where you're supposed to be, all right? Around the right people, the right places, the right opportunities. And the third thing, number 3, once you connect to your heart and your soul, you start connecting to your psychic abilities. So that is the other really big thing the Arcturians want us to know about 2026, is as we connect to our heart and our soul, we are connecting to our spiritual psychic abilities. And this is going to be a really, really magical year where we are shocked by what we're able to do. Okay. And like I said, you don't have to know what you do. Like you don't, okay. You don't have to figure it out either. All you have to do is be aware of your feelings, and that's it. Be aware of your feelings. So as you live your life, how do you feel about this person or this place or whatever? Or if you notice that you feel really excited about something, then go follow that thing. All right. So that's going to be the most important things. And so again, 2026 is an 8-year. The Arcturians want us to know, if you want to have an abundant year, it's going to be really important. It's going to be mandatory to connect to your heart and your soul. Okay. So get in touch with your feelings, feel your feelings, be aware of yourself, follow the inklings, follow the little breadcrumbs, whatever feels good to you, just go with it. Try new things, talk to new people, and you'll be surprised. Like I said, your heart already knows, because your heart is part of your soul. Your heart already knows where it's supposed to be, where it feels best, where it can shine its brightest. And so all you have to do is follow what feels good. That's literally it. That's it. You don't have to figure out your life. And, we have a lot of like astrology transits going on right now. So if you've been like seeing anything like that about like Pluto, Saturn, Mercury, all those things, just know that there's nothing that you need to do. you only have to pay attention to your feelings and paying attention to your heart, and also having a heart-based practice. So maybe it's not just that you're going to pay attention to your feelings, but you'll also carve out some time to be intentional and to really, like journal or meditate and, connect with your heart and think like, what do I want to experience next? What does make me happy? What lights me up? Where do I want, like, if I could choose to go somewhere, where would it be? If I could choose to do something, what would it be? Okay, so those are the messages from the Arcturians for the year 2026. So again, this is going to be a very abundant year, but the only way to tap into that flow of abundance is to connect to your heart and your soul. And I don't mean this is going to be an abundant year like for society. This is going to be a really rough year, and it's not going to get any easier or better anytime soon, like FYI. Okay, and so that's part of this message also, like with the Arcturians, is the coming years, especially 2027 and moving forward, are going to get rougher. They're going to get harder, okay? And that's why we have an opportunity this year to connect with people, our soul family, because that's what's really going to help us to get through the next years that are coming. And, like I said, things will not get easier. They will get worse. And it's going to be really important for us to have a community that we can trust and depend on and rely on, and for us to trust ourselves, trust our own intuitive hits and nudges, and for us to tap into your psychic abilities. All right, so okay, so I think you got it. The Arcturians want us to know this is going to be a great year, but it really starts with being aware of your emotions. And that might not seem so important to you, but it's more important than you could imagine. And it's going to be extremely important in the years ahead for you to be connected to your heart, to your emotions, to your intuitive abilities. And that's it. I love you guys so much. If you have any questions or thoughts, I see some comments in here. 6'7", that sounds like my daughter. Okay, I love you guys so much. And if you have any comments, drop them below. And I love you. Have a great day.